Hello, fellow marketers. Welcome to Data Driven Buzz. Today, we have a true visionary in the world of marketing and advertising with us, Sam Littlefield, the president and CEO of Littlefield Agency from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sam, it is my honor to be speaking with you, and so happy you made it. So, just about Sam, I wanted to tell you that his ad agency has been voted as the best place to work in 2024 and 2025 by Ad Age. And Sam Littlefield is also the current chairman of Magnet. My audience is ready for hear from you about some big marketing strategies, creativity, data storytelling, and future of marketing. Thank you for joining, Sam.
Pratik, thank you so much for having me. And that's probably the best introduction I've ever received. So I'm honored to be on the show here this morning, and I'm excited to dive into your questions.
Yeah, the very first is like everyone says, ad agency is a stressful place to work, but but
I had a lot
you
more hair a couple years ago.
same, but you have really managed this well, and I see reviews from your employees and review about your workplace as well. How do you create that balance between work and life?
Work-life balance, right? That's a buzzword and very, very important in today's work world. I'd take us back 5 years, Pratik, in the heart of the pandemic.
Mhm.
God, here we are, 5 years almost to the day where the United States shut down. We took a hard look at ourselves in the mirror, and we had to scale back because that was just the way of the times. And we got down to about 15 employees. We had
Mhm.
25 at the time, went down to 15. We had our core team, and I said, okay, I had just become president. I realized I was like, I think we've truly hit rock bottom, but we can only go up from here, right?
Yes, yes.
So we took that time as the core team to evaluate, the vision and the future of this agency. And the cool thing is, it wasn't a top-down approach. Everyone had a say, right? We all
Hmm.
figured out. Of course, the executive team kind of formulated what we're focused on, and at the end of the day, what we do really, really well is we do kick-ass work for our clients, and we have very, very talented people, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. I always tell, someone asked me the other day, what's the best piece of advice I've ever gotten? And I had an old boss, and she said, "Hey, even no matter how stressful times are, we're not curing cancer, and nobody's dying here in the marketing world."
Yeah.
And I remind our employees of that. Of course, we have to do a great job for our clients, but
Hmm.
this work-life balance and not taking yourself too seriously is
Yeah.
through here at the agency. And I always tell people, oh, how do you have this great culture, et cetera. And I have three rules. I say, get your work done, reimagine, and go home and love your families, right? And then come back and let's do it again tomorrow. And that's the way that we operate. And I think it's focusing on great work leads to great results, leads to happy clients, and leads to a happy internal team.
I love it, Sam. I think I went to a Foundations of Management class few years ago, and they told me an ideal CEO is someone who leads their teams with both using his IQ and EQ. And a very few CEOs have that quality, Sam. So I really appreciate what you do and the way you lead your teams. Uh, Sam, let's talk about business. And I wanted to ask you specifically, you are specialized in B2B marketing and manufacturing companies. So what are some of the unique challenges in B2B marketing?
The biggest challenge that we see with B2B marketers on the client side
Hmm.
is, B2B, business to business, 100%. That's the play. Behind that business is a human, right? And a lot of B2B brands that approach us, talk to us, whether we work with them or don't work with them,
Hmm.
uh, you got to realize there's a human on the end of that buying decision. And yes, they're representing their company, but we used to say the worst thing a B2B brand can do is act like one. And what we mean by that, Pratik, is, hey, have some fun. We have a client, a zero turn mowing client up
Hmm.
north of Wichita, Kansas.
Hmm.
We have this incredible consumer and commercial campaign called Mo Day,
Hmm.
and it is highlighting the personality of every day for these people, for their target audience, is game day, and we coined it Mo Day. And
Hmm.
so it's really cool. Again, it's just this emotional connection, right, from client to their customer.
Yeah.
And I think the emotional connection is a lot of times lost. We work with B2B companies. I always say most B2B C-suite or owners, they believe that if you build a better mousetrap, people will naturally come. And that's just not the way of the world, right? So
Yeah.
we have to connect upper funnel, and then as we drive them down further down the sales cycle, of course, we'll lead with
Yeah.
some features at that point. But one of the biggest challenges is wrapping people's heads around that in the
Hmm.
sense that we got to connect and relate to our target audience.
Perfect. That's a very good answer, Sam. I love it. And you got to have a vision. I also read your story about how what you did for the Tulsa International Airport when they wanted to start that direct flight from Tulsa to New York City. I love it. I'm going to share that with the audience in the description link.
Awesome.
But another challenge, Sam, is that for B2C, you like a product, you go to e-commerce website, you get it. But B2B has long sales cycles. And
Right.
what is your advice and how do you help these companies, nurture leads and drive them to conversion?
It's such a good point, Pratik. So our average sales cycle, we have some clients that sells product within 2 weeks. We
Hmm.
have some clients that take up to 18 months.
Yeah.
So how are we leveraging the sales cycle and the sales funnel? And what role does marketing play there, right? Our
Hmm.
whole thing, our whole program, content strategy is an overused term these days, but it is so important. We tell our clients this all the time. We work very closely with our clients
Yeah.
based on a user's intent. If they're requesting a quote, right, they're more bottom funnel and maybe we've nurtured that lead for 8 months. But understanding where they are in the sales cycle and feeding them the right information and content is so important and so crucial. We have a lot of clients that they just want to sell, sell, sell. Let's say there's a meta ad buy and they want to lead with, hey, go and find a dealer and contact them and have them buy our product today.
Yeah.
When I'm on Instagram, right, I'm catching up with my friends and my family, and sure, it's a great awareness reminder, but I'm not ready to buy your equipment.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen before. They're few and far between, but it's always a good reminder of you don't consumers naturally we don't want to be sold to, but when we've emotionally connected and we've rationalized it too, left brain, right brain,
Hmm.
that's when we're based on their intent is driving them down that funnel at the appropriate time and then
Yeah.
getting them to a dealer. So it's a lost art. It's very tricky. A lot of people are like, oh, hey, a day session, we got it all figured out. So many things change, as you know, Pratik,
Yeah.
and especially in this ever evolving marketing world that we're living in right now. So it's a good reminder on those longer sales cycles. Don't sell immediately. Give them something, engage with them, entertain them,
Yeah.
and then they're ready to move. They'll be ready to buy from you.
Yeah, I think that's very important because when you engage with them, build that kind of a personal connection, that's when you can be assured that, okay, if a competition is trying to poach my best dealers, there will be some connect with me, my brand, that they might not go with them, even though, because it's a very competitive world out there and we have to remind
Absolutely.
ourselves.
Well, and it's so much trickier these days, right? Because if I as a consumer fall in love with a brand and let's say I want to buy a Grasshopper zero turn mower,
Yeah.
but then Grasshopper's competitors will enter if they're doing their job right. Oh, well, shoot, I haven't even considered that brand. Well, let me look at them. Oh, actually, no, they're $500 cheaper. We're in this price competitive world, but brands will win the long game if they can get those loyal customers in their sales cycle and prove why it's worth converting with them.
Yeah. If someone is listening to how important the feedback from our B2B customers is, do an NPS survey with your brand. I think that's
Yes.
that's very important.
And
Sam,
I loved your video about the importance of NPS. It's a super super important part of the process to understand that customer satisfaction.
yeah. And that's why, I mean, it's obvious. Like you see brands like Apple. So, Sam, I used to have an Android phone, and my friends would bully me into buying an Apple product. Like, you want advocate and champions like that for your brand. So,
I love it.
yeah. I have one more question, Sam. Like, this is a tricky one because marketing is such an evolving landscape. It is sometimes overwhelming how these new tools and technologies came, and we have to be always curious, open to learning new things. So, if you had to launch a new brand from scratch today, what marketing channels and strategies would you use?
Whew. Okay, I love that question. That is
I saved it
that's a
for the last.
no, that's perfect. So from a marketing challenge, what we'd use, I think the most important important thing that we've discovered in the last 12 to 24 months is the power of AI. And sure, buzzword, everyone's talking about it. How are you actually using it, right? So if I
Mhm.
built a company today, I would have the I call them thinkers, right? Give me the 10 smartest thinkers that you can find that understand the power of artificial intelligence, and then tap into that to create a lot of wonderful efficiencies. And then, based on all the amazing research and all of the technology tools that we subscribe to, where
Mhm.
are we finding their target audience and how are they best digesting media so that we can get in front of them and convert them as customers? So, I'm not avoiding the question, what channels would I recommend? It totally depends on the target audience and how they're
Yeah.
digesting media. But I will tell you, there are people are talking about AI, and you do not want to be behind the eight ball. And our agency over the last, gosh, Pratik, 3 months, the diving into so many different platforms, but also understanding how we best use this for our clients, how we best use this for ourselves. And we're talking internally. I wouldn't be surprised here the next 6 months to 12 months if we have an AI department here because it's that important.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen that one of the most rising jobs in the job market today is AI consultant, and a lot of companies are hiring them to make sure that their company is ready for that big wave.
And
Uh,
it's a great point. I have a very good friend. He just sold his marketing agency in Phoenix, and he's young, he's 45 years old, and his next chapter is he has started an AI company and is literally to go and
wow.
help conglomerate companies on how you can better use these tools. And hey, it's not eliminating people. Let us help your people be more efficient. Let your company
Exactly.
be efficient, and then the
Yeah.
rest. It's very, very interesting.
Sam, it was lovely to chat with you. I
Yes.
know, as the great Simon Sinek would say, do you have 8 minutes? And yes, Sam had 8 minutes for me today. I'm really grateful, friend, for those 8 minutes because
Of
I
course,
really
Pratik.
needed them.
Of course, of course. No, thank you so much for having me on your show. I will for sure share this to my network, and I appreciate the time today.
Okay. Thank you. We'll connect soon again, Sam.
Sounds good, Pratik.